This is the exterior inspection. Have a retaining wall here. There are a number of cracks in the retaining wall. These are not unusual. Now, a retaining wall of this size should be engineered. The only way you can find that out is looking at the records of the build. We've got another crack here in the retaining wall. Another one here. And another one here. So we've got about 4 cracks in the retaining wall. Let's move around the side foundation. See what we've got. Clear outs for the silver lines. Now we're getting a lot of erosion here, and it's running down the hill from the road here, and it's coming around the side of the building. You see here that it's causing erosion at the foundations for the air conditioning units. You really want to get these leveled, and it would also be good to put some landscaping diverts in here so we can divert the water away from this area into this area here, so we don't actually end up with this being eroded. We've got an extension on the downpipe here. That's very good. You have a very friendly dog that's come to see me, haven't you? You're a good boy, yes. Okay. What I'm looking for are cracks. The only way I can tell whether the foundation is doing its job is we've got cracks in the brickwork, and we're going to look inside in a bit, see if we've got any in there. We've got steel lintels here. They should actually have loopholes. Moving further around. Well, we've got a nice angle here. We'll just take a photograph of this so I can illustrate in the report what you need to do. That's a good boy. Yes, that's a good boy. Yes, you're both very good. Yes. Very friendly bulldog. Just a point, we're missing a window sill here. It's canted, allows water to run off. This doesn't. It was probably an afterthought. Gas supply line. Now we've got some post-tension cable ends showing here, and you can also see there's erosion in the grade, and I could tell there's erosion in the grade because this was once below grade here. This needs to be regraded with dirt, not mulch, and what's actually happening over time, it just washes it away, and regrading will improve that and support the foundation. So here we have a post-tension cable ends. They've got to be covered. It's called parging. We cover them in a waterproof mortar, and that just covers up and protects them. The sills have gone on this window. It's due to the sun. Breaks the sills after years and years of expansion and contraction. Sills have gone on this window here, and we have a broken window. So we're now at the porch area with an arbour. Arbours should be freestanding. You can see this one is actually resting on the roof. What would be preferable would be to re-engineer it. Re-engineer it so that it's supported by the by posts as we got here. So instead of being supported on the roof, which is never a good idea, it's free and clear of the roof. And yeah, you're going to have some posts. There's one post here, another post there. That would fix it. One post here in the corner. Support it. It's freestanding. You get it off the roof. Still missing weep holes from lintels. Now, while we're at this area here, you've got some steps. These steps are incorrect. There should actually be balustrades coming down either side. There should be balustrades here to stop people falling through. Actually, what you're looking out for are young children. Now, although the grade is just here, the code says for 36 inches. We're way above 36 inches down there, and certainly here. So, I hate to be pedantic, but I would want to see balustrades installed all the way around here. Still inspecting the exterior. Weep holes missing from over the garage. The flashing, the counter flashing coming down here, step flashing, counter flashing. There's a little bit of tender loving care needed. There's 8 openings in the mortar above it. It wants to be remortared, or you could use a silicone caulking. We've got a downpipe, well, missing downpipe from the roof up here. You've got the gutter, it's emptying over the roof. That will wear the shingles. What you want to do is run a gutter pipe down to this gutter here, and that will reduce the wear on that roof. We're going to have a look at that roof in particular when we get up here, see whether or not there's any wear occurred, but that area there definitely will wear. In fact, you can see the dark area where the water's been running. Missing mortar from over the top of the step flashing there. So we have a common settlement crack coming down from the corner here down to the brickwork. It's very common. These areas settle and you get that classic cracking in this brick and mortar. we've looked at the exterior. We're going to just have a check inside now at the classic areas where if you've got structural movement you end up with sticking doors. No, that's good. And we move to the middle of the house, and that's where you're going to find any really sticky doors, if there's going to be any. No. No. It's all looking good. Now we're going to go up to the second floor and check out whether we've got any movement in the structure up here. No cracks over the doors. So you know, when you're living in a house you think, oh, is the foundation okay? Well, what you do is you look out like corners here. The doors, this could be an attic in here. Yeah, we'll go in there later. So, in terms of internal structure, sheetrock, we're just seeing if we've got any cracks. If we can give this a first class rating on the day of the inspection. We'll look in the master. In the master now. Okay, structural wise, around the building, good. A little bit of movement and cracking in the retaining wall at the rear elevation, and some erosion at the right hand elevation, which can be cured with some diverters and landscaping. I'm standing at the front elevation to the property, and you can see that there's some damage to the shingles in this area. From what I can see, I would put this down to tree damage. Trees above us have been in contact with the roof here, and some of the shingles are so badly damaged they are going to need replacing. Up here there's been shingle damage, and that's been caulked. That isn't a good way of fixing the problem. The way to fix the problem is to re-shingle this area here. This also brings into doubt the insurability of this property from the roof's point of view, which you now have to check, because this could be leaking and it is a pre-existing condition now, and if you put a claim in, the insurance company's going to ask you for the inspection report, and of course they'll find me telling you in the report that there's roof damage. Sorry about that, but that's what I have to do, is find this stuff. I'm standing to the left of the front porch, and you can see here we have considerable damage to the shingles. They've been caulked. Unfortunately, caulking doesn't work very well on shingles because it hardens, it cracks, and water just seeps through. I would say that over a long period of time this area of the roof is almost certainly leaking. What needs to happen is it needs to be re-shingled, possibly around this whole area. There's damage to the shingles here over the gable end, and you can see here we've got really bad damage to the shingles there. The vine is growing up onto the roof. While it looks picturesque, it actually isn't very good for the roof. It's going to damage the roof in this area here. It also allows insects and vermin access to the roof itself. Well, I recommend that that's cut off completely. You do not really want that growing up on your roof. This is the garage. As such, the garage should actually have self-closing doors. You see here, it's not got a hinge on it that closes it. That's got to be changed. You've got to have self-closing doors. Now we have attic access here, but there is a problem. You can see here that you've got holes in the attic access. That's going to allow fumes from the vehicles to go up into the attic, and then it can, of course, migrate into the house. But there's another thing too. The most common place for fires is in garages. And if you get a fire in this garage, it's going to very quickly transfer into the attic and then spread to the rest of the house. The attic door should have a weather seal on it. So I'm up in the attic now. You can see here we've got holes in the wall, plumbing fittings here. This is where fire can penetrate. So it's very important that that attic door is sealed. Yeah, is this a scorpion? Doesn't it? Got caught in the spider's web and got eaten.
Got half eaten. I was at a customer's house. I was telling them about the spiders eating the ants, and there was an ant crawling, and there was a little spider, and the spider ran over and ate that little black ant. I was like, oh, I never seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Here we got Romex cables. They're actually running over the service boards. They should be protected because they can very easily be damaged. We have a light fitting here, a switch. Has a plastic cover on it. It should be metal. Any attic area should have a metal cover on it. Otherwise they can break. And if they break, they leave live wires exposed. This is the attic over the house. And right off, you can tell you've got insufficient attic ventilation. We've one ventilator up there. That's not enough. You've got, I'll do a calculation and tell you about how much you need. But you've got good soffit ventilation around the house, really good. It's just in this attic here, you need to add some more ventilation. And I have to calculate that. This is the water heater in the upper attic. like the one in the lower attic, is incorrectly installed. We should have screws on the vent hoods here. If we don't, it's a temporary pressure relief valve, and it doesn't work. So that's got to be replaced. This is a bathroom vent. It's venting into the attic. It's going to introduce moisture into the attic. There's another one over there. In fact, there's a number of them. Now that's going to introduce moisture, and moisture can bring mould. What these should really do is run them to the soffits, which is over here, or better still, to the roof and put it out on a roof vent, but not allowed to discharge into the attic. Now, this is a flue. There's another flue on the water heater. All these flues should be bonded. That's where you run a cable, a copper wire, between them and ground them, and it reduces the probability of a lightning strike. This is the primary drain line. It should have a P-trap round about here, and also be insulated. We have control wires passing into the electrical cabinetry, and they're unprotected. In this one, you can see there's already damage occurring here to the actual cable. In time, that's going to cut through and short circuit it. Again, primary drain line without P-traps or insulation. No bonding. Here we've got a lot of cables exposed, so they can easily be damaged. These have got to be protected. Again, we've got the gas supply without sediment traps. Here the cable's being cut by the cabinetry, and the missing P-traps. So missing P-traps on all of the equipment. This is a vent. It's a plumbing vent. It's intended to allow air into the plumbing system. The problem is there are insufficient of them. They've all been taken. There's just a couple I can find here. Been taken to the rear elevation. So there's two vents venting all the bathrooms. A vent, the vertical vent, has to be within 5 foot of the P-trap. So that means that there should be vents along here all the way up to the roof, and there's not. There is an easy solution these days, because we have one-way valves that we can be installed, and that will fix the problem, but it's insufficient venting. Now here we have the plastic yellow gas pipes. These pipes are known to have problems in attics, and the way to protect yourself when you have these gas pipes is to make sure they do not come into close contact with sharp objects. And the area they come into contact with sharp objects are at the roof, and you can see here we've got nails and we've got the pipe. Wherever it's close to the roof, it should be restrained and kept away from the nail. we have a double tapped breaker here. It's unnecessary because there's room to add breakers, so you don't need to double tap. It's just laziness on the part of the electrician. Second panel, this one's 150 amps. They're both 150 amps, so you've got 300 amps coming in. There's no double tapping in this one. We're at the meter for the premises, and here we have a grounding bar to the meter. This is a live outlet. We're actually in a shower area, and it's a wet area. Now I know it's a GFCI, but it still shouldn't be in this area here. There should be no electrical fittings anywhere within this wet area. This is incredibly stupid. We're at the right elevation. You can see here we've got insulation. It's deteriorating. Probably time to replace it on these 3 units. I mentioned earlier that they're actually tilting and they've got to be fixed. You don't want them tilting like this. Water meter, we're located at the curve. It's actually locked. It's often the case in cities. Here's the road, okay, here's the house, and the water meter is here. We're in the master bath. This shower control here, faucet, is actually loose in the wall. The pool has been recently plastered. There's very little I can tell you about pools in terms of, you know, how good the plastering is. It's all actually hidden from you because it's put on by the plasterer when the pool is empty, and at that point you can inspect it. What I can tell you is, does it look as if it's in good condition? And the answer is yes, it does. It looks far better than the normal pools I see. The coping around the whole of the area is in good condition. Lots of good coping. It doesn't need caulking. That's so unusual. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the pool equipment. We have a cleaner. The cleaner's been running the whole time I've been here. And here we have a skimmer. The skimmer's working. Now we're going to the pool equipment. This should be a shower. Oh, there's a bathroom. Okay. Here's the pool equipment. It's currently running, which is good. We have a filter system here, a replaceable filter. No apparent leaks. There's no water heater, and then that's no great loss in this part of the world. There's the controls. Freeze control. Keeps the pump running when the temperature drops. All's fine in there.